Greetings today. We continue the third and final installment on the fifth of the seven visions from Revelation chapter 14, verses 12 and 13. Specifically, the beatitude that is spoken of here applies after its declaration during the 7-year period. There are general ways in which it has been applied to the saints of all the ages through the years. Remember, it will be a declared promise to be claimed by those who must give their lives for their faith and obedience during these dark days of unprecedented persecution. Then let's pay particular attention to the provision of rest from their labors, which is spoken of in the second part of verse 13. Yet the Spirit is saying, in order that they shall rest from their particular labors. Here's a paradox that is presented. The worshipers of the beast, they're not having a rest day and night forever and ever in Revelation 14:11. This is an emphatic prohibition. The worshipers of God and His Christ, they shall have rest from their labors. Again, a future emphatic, and this is a emphatic promise. The promise says, tradition says that means they will get a set of wings and sit around on clouds strumming harps. Scriptures state we'll be serving and praising God for all of eternity. When the hindrance of the flesh is removed, the service that presently at times may seem to be laborious will then be refreshingly glorious. Think of the spiritual refreshing we receive from the true worship of God now. And consider that rest does not necessarily mean inactivity, but it does mean refreshing. A comparison of Revelation 6:9 through 11 and the group of the fifth seal with this beatitude of Revelation 14:13 as well as the promise of the same should lead us to conclude the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and the testimony which they held. In Revelation 13:7, authority and execution is the patience of the saints, and then to Revelation 14:12, keeping the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. The rest promised in Revelation 6:11 is the same rest spoken of in Revelation 14:13. The premise, 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8 says, "We're confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord." Again, in Philippians 1:23, it says, "For I am in a strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with Christ, which is far better." In the Old Testament, prophecies concerning captivity, God established 4 devices: death, the sword, flame, captivity, spoil, or captivity or prey. And then the last one was famine. So we have death, sword, flame, captivity, and famine. The death which God allows to come to some will be a gracious removal from further torment. The historical ravages upon God's people will pale against the atrocities of these days. And I say to you, this is a very profound statement. Then let's look at the pronouncement of the rewards for their labors in the third part of Revelation 14 and verse 3. "For the works of them is following with them." In 1 Timothy 5:24, we find these words, "Some men's sins are open beforehand, going before to judgment, and some men they follow after." Verse 25 continues, "Likewise, a contrast in the same manner, also the good works of some are manifest beforehand, and they that are otherwise cannot be hid." Now, only briefly referenced here, but widely taught throughout the Scriptures, their works will follow them. The record of their works precedes us to eternity. The record of our works will follow us for eternity. In 1 Peter 1:7, we find the declaration that our works have eternal value. He says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than that of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. So I ask you, what will our record say? Will we be declared overcomers? Will we have any durative value from the trial of our faith while we lived upon this earth?